Welcome to Marshashana Yoga. Thank you for joining me today. Our topic today is mindfulness. And this word mindfulness, we hear so much about it. Understanding what it means is another thing. I think what we were told all through our school years by parents and teachers, pay attention. Well, maybe there is something to that. In the yoga world, mindfulness means noticing what you are doing, observing your emotions, and about living in the present instead of going back over old roads or anxiously awaiting some future events. When we are mindful, we begin to feel connected to others, to the universe, and there is a shift in our thinking as we begin to become more compassionate, kind, loving, humble, and grateful. It just goes with the yoga territory. Let me elaborate a little more. The other word we use a lot in yoga is awareness. Yes, we become more mindful, more aware of everything. As a Hatha yoga teacher, I am mindful of the alignment of my body and the body of my students. So let's talk briefly about the body because this is important to our efforts to meditate. To make the body flexible and strong enough to sit still and be mindful. When we practice the asanas or postures, we can set the shoulders evenly and relax them down. Place the hips over the knees and ankles, and so importantly, straighten the spine. And while doing this, we create flexibility and strength in the body. Releasing tension from the body is crucial. Very often, it's easy to see where a student is holding his or her tension. For me, it's the upper back. I have had students who have shoulders up by the ears. They are obviously tight through that area. In addition, there is the hunching over that comes with gravitational pull. When I started doing yoga a dozen years ago, I realized soon that if I missed a week, I would begin to lean forward. This hunching over, which you can see more as people age, also compromises the internal organs, compressing them, just as a side note. Or you know when people are standing like this, that it can't possibly be good for the body over time. One thing just being connected to the other. So with this awareness, we begin to correct these things, and as we do so, we are strong enough too to sit still in an upright position. This mindfulness also includes the breath. When do we ever pay attention to our breath unless we're agitated, fearful, or have just done some strenuous activity? Being aware of the breath is incredibly life-enhancing. Depending on how we utilize the breath, it can either sustain us or it can make our lives much richer. There are many types of breath work in yoga. There is Ujjayi breath, also known as ocean-sounding breath or victorious breath, which oxygenates the body, calms the mind, diminishes distraction, releases tension. All this allowing us more ability to be mindful and in the moment. Alternate nostril breath balances and boosts the brain, calms the emotions in the nervous system. This too allowing for that focus that we need. Bear in mind, too, that the postures were developed as a means to allow yogis to sit for very long periods of time. So the breath comes first, in a sense. Mind-blowing, because in the Western world, we are, generally speaking, much more focused on the physical, on the asanas. For me, though, the mind is the most fascinating place to become aware of. Not someone else's, that's much more fun. Hey, I have a psychology degree and I've practiced armchair psychology on a slew of friends and family members over the years. But when you begin to watch your own mind, look out. Holy cow. In yoga, the mind is referred to as the monkey mind for good reason. It experiences between 50 and 70,000 thoughts a day. Just observe your thoughts, as an outsider might, for a day. And you will notice how the mind takes you on some jaunts. You glance down at that envelope you just got from the insurance company, and you start thinking about that rate hike you got last year as a result of that man slamming into your car, which made you so angry. So you begin to relive that time and those emotions. And then the way that shoulder still bothers you and the medical copays. And then a new thought starts. Just observe. Or how about judgments? How many times a day do we make judgments? Hey, this is all human nature. This is how we roll. But in yoga, we attempt to curb that thinking. We rein it in. We try to calm the monkeys down. And guess what? After a while, amazingly, it starts to work. And really, in the end all, how much energy do we waste? Precious energy that could be used in such positive ways doing this. As we plod back over old ground and race forward towards the future, what do we gain from this? With mindfulness, we pause now to just be and be aware. Do we listen mindfully? Do we do our postures mindfully? Do we really pay attention to the work that we do in the present moment, maybe especially our most mundane tasks? Do we set mindful affirmations and intentions? Do we eat in an attentive manner? All this, my friends, is food for thought. We may become more spiritually aware through such practice. A recent Time magazine article stated that although people come to yoga for two reasons, basically, exercise or stress reduction, 37% will keep coming back for the spiritual peace and peace. What I love, too, is the science behind it. Now, we know that the things that yogis have been doing for thousands of years have been right on because we have the science to back it up now. And let's face it, we in the West love science. Sitting or standing straight sends a message to the brain to be more aware by the release of epinephrine and norepinephrine, hormones that boost your confidence and are calming and help you think clearer. When during meditation or in Shavasana we envision that bright light, the brain responds by releasing epinephrine. When you sit in a dark room for 5 minutes with your eyes closed, the brain begins to emit alpha waves, calming the brain. According to neuroscientists, the brain starts to change physically. Yes, yoga can change your DNA. How incredible is that? What can mindfulness bring to your life? Anything and everything. As you meditate, exist in the moment with your attention at your breath. Things begin to happen. This is the starting point, folks, of transformations. My own have been many, And these are stories for another time. We will end now and go into our breath work, stretching, our asanas, our meditation. So we'll move to the mat. So we begin now, as we always do, by bringing our attention to our breath. So we're just applying that awareness of that mindfulness to our breathing. We notice the breath as it rises, moving up the body on the inhalation. And the release as we exhale. So it seems like a simple thing to just sit and pay attention to the breath. But when we attempt to do it, it really is more difficult than it sounds. Our attention is drawn by so many different things, so much stimulus. So we need to be in a quiet place, in a quiet position. And we notice the ebb and flow of the breath. So for a moment, let's take a deeper breath by beginning and just filling the belly first, and then up into the rib cage and the chest. We do it all in a nice flowing movement, and then exhaling the chest, ribs, and abdomen. Again, let's fill the belly. Expand the ribs, lift the chest, and exhaling chest, ribs, abdomen. And just returning at the end to your normal breath. And then just bring one hand to your abdomen and one just above below the chest, and just allow them to rest there, and take a few breaths as you notice the breath. Noticing the warmth beneath the hands. So in yoga, we're always cultivating that awareness, always trying to notice what we're doing. And then releasing the hands to the sides. In this position we're in Supta Baddha Konasana, and if you have a bolster and blocks, you can do this. If not, you can just rest your head on a pillow in Shavasana. In this position, we do lift the chest, we open the hips. So we're just going to take one more big breath, breathing into the belly, ribs, and all the way up. And then releasing, always exhaling completely, allowing for that full exhalation. And then just release your legs from the block and allow them to go long. And then bring the hands up in the air. Settle your shoulders down either on the mat or the bolster. Have your feet at hip distance and upwards. And just begin to open and close the fists. So we just work in the fingers, warm them up, place the palms away, press the palms upwards, drop the fingers down. As we flex and extend the wrists, which strengthens the wrist. Make sure you can always see those and they're not back behind your shoulders. And then take the arms long and extend the feet away. And as you do this, just envision a lengthening of the ribs, the sides of the rib cage. Taking a big breath, extending and exhaling down. Begin to point your feet. Let them stretch across the top. And then flex them, pulling them back. Point and flex. And then take them a little wider and just draw the big toes together. And just let that sit there for a minute, getting a nice stretch through the sides and through the inner thighs as well, working the ankles a little bit. And then just windshield wiper them in and out like old-fashioned wipers. And then just make some circles with the feet as we just warm the ankles up. So we will be focusing a little more on the hips today, opening the hip area up. We'll also be doing a little work with the belt. And then just tap the legs, bringing some circulation into the legs. And once again, draw the arms behind you, extend them long. And then exhaling the arms down by the sides. Bring your feet up to the floor one at a time and just rock your knees back and forth a little. Bringing an awareness to that lower back as we notice it. And then coming up to the center. Take your hands one to each elbow, allow them to either rest behind, or if you have shoulder issues and it's more comfortable on the forehead, that's fine. I always like doing this. I do this at every session when I'm teaching, when I'm at home on my own. I like the way it feels to open up that chest area. We create that expansion in that area. We become more aware of that opening of the chest area. And then extend the legs one at a time and just, again, stretch that body. We bear down a little with the calves, so we keep the legs well grounded. Keep centered on your heels. And then bring your arms down. And now we're just going to come up for a moment. I like to try something with the block, so I'm going to move this up a little further. And I'm just going to take the block and place it this way. And then I'm going to have you come back and just put the tops of your shoulder blades onto the, bring your feet to the floor, onto the block. And then just a little further up. So your shoulder blades are sitting on them, on the block. And then once again do that opening so we get a little different feeling, a little different sensation, a little different opening. And take a big breath. And exhaling. And then bring the arms up in the air again, and just bring your index finger and thumb together. Make some rotations. Just working the wrists a little. And the other way. And then just draw the hands to the opposite arm as you just rest that again and open that up. Take a breath into the chest. Exhalation. And then just bringing that down. And just come up a little bit, move that away, draw your bolster sideways at the top. Now, if you don't have a bolster, you can use blankets rolled in the same kind of a way, or you can just do it in Shavasana, in a flat on the floor pose. So just coming here, we'll extend the arms and legs, allowing them to rest on top of the bolster or your blankets. And then bring the feet to the floor. And for a moment, press down with the feet, and then lift up into bridge pose. So we're doing the bridge pose, Setu Bandha, but we're doing it with the arms on the bolster. Your head is not on the bolster. Your head is on the floor. Arms are on the bolster. And then coming down one vertebrae at a time. And leaving your arms right up like that. Just take your feet, press down on your feet, press down with that lower back so you create that pelvic tilt. And then let the arms go right. And as you do that, the legs go right. And then extend through that left side a little so that you get a nice stretch. And then coming up to center. Once again, press down with the feet, press down with the small of the back. Let the legs go left. Stretch through that right side. And then come back up to center. Once again, extend your arms, extend your legs. And then bringing your arms down by your sides. And then bring your feet to the floor one at a time again. And bring your right knee right into your chest. Extend the left one long. Extend the right one up. point and flex the foot, and then draw that foot up to the ceiling. So keep the arms along the shoulders down. Make sure your head is not up in the air, that the chin remains level. Take the sole of that right foot above the left knee, and with your right palm down, bring those legs over. And as we do this, we turn towards the side, but we want to turn not as much from the upper ribs as the lower ribs. So we focus on that as we do this. Take a breath. We know when we do that twisting action with the body that we get rid of toxins and old emotions. And then bring the feet to the floor again and draw the left knee in, and then extend the right leg, extend the left leg, point and flex. Keep the right toes up, not gripping, but up, and then press that sole up, stretching the hamstring. Draw the left sole above the right, take with the right hand those legs to the right, and again we attempt to move the lower ribs towards the left. Breathe. Come back up to center. Bring the feet to the floor. Have them hip distance, and then cross your right leg over your left. And just draw the hands to the knees and bring those knees right up, and just gently rock it back and forth. And then bring that left foot down and bring this right calf a little closer to the thigh area. So just moving that up a little, and then draw that up. And you'll definitely notice a slightly different stretch, so we're opening and working those hips. And then release the left foot, release the right. Cross the left over the right so that that knee and hip are in a line, and then draw those two up and just gently rock them in and out. Bring the right foot down to the floor. Now draw that leg up just a little further towards the thigh, and again take it up. You will feel that a little more stretch in that left hip. And then bringing that foot to the floor and the other, extend the legs, extend the arms. Big breath, exhaling down by the sides. And then we'll just come up for a moment, just rolling to the side for a second, and come to a simple seated position. When we do that, we bring the feet under the knees as much as possible and sitting straight and tall. So just bring the hands overhead, interlace them, lift the palms up to the ceiling, and exhaling down. Draw the arms up to center, turn, bring one hand down to the knee, one behind. Inhale up. To the other side, exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Come back towards the center. Bring the hands to the ankle area, and then inhale and lift the chest. Exhale, round down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. And then coming back up to center. So we'll just come down long again. And just for a moment, we're going to come down to this position. Again, legs are hip distance. We're going to extend one leg up, pointing and flexing that. And then bringing that down, extending the other leg up. Point and flex, bring it down, and then extending both legs up. And then bring those down. Come back down to the mat and just bring your head flat, extend the arms, extend the legs, and then reaching, coming down with the arms. And we'll just take our belt for a minute. So just sit up for a minute, take your belt, and loop it. So we're going to make a little loop with it. And we just draw it in through one spot and down through the other so that it will tighten up, so that it holds its place there. And we're going to make it about that big. And we're going to come down. We've done these leg stretches with the belts before. We're just doing it a little bit different. So we're just going to put it around the foot. Now, you don't want to put it right in the middle. We want to put it more up towards the toes where it's not quite so tender. And just coming back down. So keep that left foot on the ground, knee bent. Take that right leg up. Let that come out to the side a little. Just coming to wherever you can. So everybody has a different range here. Keep that other knee straight up. And then come back up. And then take a hold of the belt with both arms and just kind of draw that towards the chest. And then let it go back up. Lengthen the arm. And now take the belt and just tuck it underneath your back. So not your lower back, your upper back. So that you actually can get the action of the belt without the use of the hands. So you can spread, so you can spread your arms wide, but not too wide when you're on the set. And just, so this is a nice relaxing position that's also stretching the hamstring. Taking a breath into the center of the heart. And exhaling. So let's just take the belt again in both hands, let that other leg go long for a moment, release the belt from behind, and just take that leg down. And now we'll just switch over to the other foot. So we're going to bring the right foot to the floor and bring this just below the toes as we take that up. And just straightening the leg. Let the other leg go long. And then bring that back up for a moment and just let that other leg go out to the side a little. Bring the belt up and just let the other leg go long. Extend the arms up and draw the foot down and then reach it back up. And then just releasing that. We'll just set that to the side. So you can do those stretches by yourself at home too, practicing those to strengthen and lengthen the hamstrings. Okay, so I'm just going to fix my microphone here. And then we're just going to come up to table position for a moment. Come to table by bringing the shoulders over the wrist, hips over the knees. Tap the feet. Extend your right foot back, rock the toes. And then lift that over the other foot, place it on the floor, turn and look back. Giving the body a twist. Come back. Extend the other foot, rock the toes back and forth. Lift it over, look back. Come back. Come to child's pose, toes together, knees apart. Just stretch the arms in front, rest the forehead on the floor. Bringing the buttocks back towards the feet, stretching the shoulders. And then coming up. And just come up, and we'll take the blanket off and come up to standing for a moment. We're going to bring the belt with us. And in this position, we'll just make the belt a little bit longer. We're going to make it about shoulder width apart. So we're going to go like, so that you're bringing it in. We want to come into that Tadasana position. We're going to have the feet even. We're planting them. We're drawing the abdomen back towards the spine. We're dropping that tailbone a bit, and we're extending the arms forward as we settle the shoulders down. Raise your arms up. And then lowering them back down. So we can always use the belt as a prop. And now we'll take it around. We're going to hook the thumbs in each side. And just, again, bringing those hands down so we open the chest up. Taking a deep breath. And as we expand the chest, we open the heart, too. We open the heart chakra, making us more loving. And then releasing that. I'd like to try something else with the belt today. And this, you can just take the belt loose for a moment. We're going to put the belt around the shoulder. It takes a little adjustment to get it. And then we bring it back behind and we cross it. And then draw it around to the front. And we hook, again, we go through one side and out the other. So we're sort of making a little support, a little, whoops, that did not go through one side and out the other. We're going to support the shoulders. We're going to kind of improve the posture, force ourselves into a more straighter posture, kind of. So if you get it nice and tight, you can feel the support. And like I said, it will take you a minute. And let's just try some of the poses. So let's try Warrior One. Let's start at the front of the mat. Let's start at this front of the mat. In our Tadasana position. And then we're going to bring the hands to the hips. Step back with one foot angled out slightly, maybe about 45 degrees. We extend the arms vertical and bend the forward knee. Taking a breath in Virabhadrasana 1. And then bringing the hands down to the hips, stepping forward. So hopefully that gives you an awareness. Again, we talk about this word mindfulness and awareness. This gives you a better idea of where your body is at. And then hands to hips, step back with the left foot angled out slightly. Bring the torso towards the way you're standing. Extend the arms. Bend the forward knee. Make sure that knee in the front is over the ankle. Breathing. Warrior One. Hands to hips, stepping forward. Inhale, raise the arms overhead, lift your toes. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Coming to the center of the mat. So let's step wide. Let me just straighten my mat here. And stepping wide. So you bring your feet as far as you can apart. You make the feet parallel and even. So we're looking to get that nice even thing. We straighten the legs, torso is long. Turn your one foot out all the way. The other one, the toes slide in, or the heel slides out, however you like to think of it. Bring your torso forward, extend your arms out at shoulder length, at shoulder height. Don't be up here. Keep them right at the shoulder. And then bend that forward knee and gaze out over that hand in Warrior Two. Again, making sure the knee stays over the ankles, that the back leg is strong in Virabhadrasana 2. Fingers are not together. They're strong but relaxed. And then straightening that front leg and just reaching forward and down and coming into Trikonasana. So again, the belt does allow you that feeling of awareness. Come up, hands to hips, feet together. Tap the legs. Inhale, roll the shoulders. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Bring your shoulders up to your ears on the inhalation. Exhale, ha, ha. Inhale up. Exhale, ha, ha. Inhale up. Exhale, ha, ha. Step wide again. Turn the opposite foot out all the way, the rear one in a little bit. Bring the torso in the direction you're standing. Extend your arms. Gaze out over that forward knee as you bend it, over that hand as you bend the forward knee, and just taking a breath. Keep the back leg strong. Keep the back arm up. A lot of people tend to drop that back arm. Relax your shoulders. Straighten the front leg, cut back with that hip, and reach forward as you come into Trikonasana. And then coming up to center. So we talk about that awareness, being mindful and being in the moment. We do spend a lot of time, we can take the belt off now, going, back over the old thing and anticipating the future. We don't spend a lot of time thinking about the present moment. And I know at Mark's birthday party recently, his 18th birthday party, I got all the details in order except for one thing. I didn't take any pictures. We got very few pictures. However, I was present in the moment. And I remember my yoga teacher saying that to me, that sometimes you're so caught up at an event, taking pictures, and you don't really enjoy the event itself. So maybe we all need to think more about how much time we do spend in the present moment. The other thing that will give you an awareness of this is at home. If you're at home and you've got a wall, if you come up to the wall and we step wide like that, just to give you an idea, and we turn the foot out, back one in. Now as you come up to the wall, it shows you very clearly where you're not hitting, where you're not lining up. So I do like the awareness of doing this as well. So if you like to do that at home, it does give you that awareness. And then coming back to center. So let's take the belt again, and let's just loop that, and let's come down. We're going to do a little, we'll do a little plank with the arms together. So let's try that. So we'll come down, and again, we're going to get that belt at shoulder distance. Takes a little tweaking to do that usually. And let's come down and bring the hands into that position. Now, as we do that, let's come into down dog first. So move the hands forward of the shoulders. Plant the hands down, make sure they're either parallel, the index fingers are outwards. Tuck your toes and come up. So when we use the belt, we just absolutely bring awareness to it. Whereas we don't pay too much attention. Actually, this should not be at the wrist. My mistake. That should be up higher. And then coming into that. And then come into plank pose, where you bring the shoulders right over the wrist. Keep your vision in front of the mat. Don't look down. Keep the buttocks, let those buttocks drop, but keep the abdomen up. And just take a breath here. This is a good pose for the core, builds the core muscles. And then come back up into down dog. Raise one heel at a time. Coming way up on the heels and then extending down. And coming back into plank pose. And then coming down to the knees, just bring the toes together, knees apart, release your belt, bring a block and just rest the head. In child's pose. Bring your attention to your heartbeat at the center of your chest, at your breath. And then just coming up. So just come back on the heels if you can. Now, for some people this is hard. Although it is good for the knees, it's not always easy. So you can always sit with either a block, or you can bring a pillow, a bolster, anything that you need in order to allow yourself to sit back. If you can, you come back on your legs. And just take your belt again, and as you hold it at the forearms, reach out, draw the shoulder blades back, drop them down, but extend the arms. Bring them up. Reach up as you settle the shoulders down, tuck the tummy back, and then coming down. Just bring the belt to the side, interlace the fingers, extend them upwards, exhaling down. Reach across, stretch. Come back, reach across, and coming back and lifting up. And then coming down again, lifting and reaching. And now we'll just come up for a moment to our feet. And we're going to go through the sun salutation. So we're going to start at the front in Tadasana. Feet are firmly planted. Inhale the arms overhead. Extend up, lift out of the waist. Fold, bring your hands by your feet. Step back with your left foot. The right one is right over the ankles. Now, if you can modify by dropping the back knee. So only do what your body will allow you to do. Here we're in Anjanasana, runner's lunge. We bring the other foot back to meet it, so we come into plank pose. And now we're going to come into Chaturanga Dandasana. Now you can either drop your knees to modify, or you bring everything down at once. Keep your elbows in close to your body and bring your knees, chest, chin all at once down to the floor. Flip the feet. Keep your hands on the ground and push down your palms. Roll the shoulder blades down the back. Peel the chest up. Or you can come to up dog. Flip the feet. Come to down dog. Take a breath. And then bring your left foot back to where it was, back into Anjanasana. Take a breath. Keep the back leg strong. Don't let it droop. And then bring that other foot and come into Uttanasana, forward fold, looking back between the legs. Inhale, come up. Exhale. And then, like always, we do the other side, because whatever we do on one side in yoga, we always do on the other side. So we come back to Tadasana. Inhale. Forward fold. Hands beside the feet, bend the knees, step back with the right foot. Left is over, knee over ankle. Keep your gaze in front of your mat. Now bring that other foot, that left foot back to meet the right and come into plank pose. Keep your arms in, either drop your back knees, again, honoring your body, or just keep the elbows in and come on down. Turn the feet. Press down with the palms, lift up. If you want, you can bring the body up so it's just hands and feet touching. Chest comes through the arms. Flip the feet, come to down dog. And then draw the right foot forward again into the runner's lunge. Bring the other leg forward into forward fold. And then coming up. And releasing. So we'll come down for one more minute. Kind of been up and down a bit today, but that's okay. And just leaning back on your elbows for a minute. And then just rocking the knees side to side. So let's add a little breath with that. Let's start and inhale over. And exhale back. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And coming back to center. So let's just come down for 1 second. Extend the legs up. Take a hold behind the thighs. Point and flex the feet. Draw the thighs towards the chest. Bring your hands through the middle. Grab the outsides. And just rock a little in happy baby. Bring the soles of the feet together and point them straight up. And then release. Bring the feet to the floor. Bring them the distance of the mat, so widen the feet a little. And then as you press down with the feet and the small of the back, let the legs go right and move the upper body towards the left. And try to focus on moving those lower ribs over. Getting a stretch through the front of the thigh. Coming back up, pressing down with the feet, the small of the back, letting the legs go left. And then just trying to move those lower ribs over. And then coming up to center. Extend the arms and extend the legs. And exhaling down. And then we'll roll over for a moment And just come up long for a second, sitting long on your mat in Dandasana. And then we'll just widen the legs. So just coming to wherever you can with the feet pointing upwards. And then reaching through the middle, we just lift the chest. So again, it will vary from person to person. I have really tight hamstrings and tight hips. So this is something that I have to work on a lot. And then draw one leg in towards the thigh and just turn towards the other way a bit. So just twisting the body, letting that shoulder settle in. And then come back around and just reach towards that other leg. Lift the chest. And then releasing. Extend that other leg. Lift. Walk the hands up. Bring the other foot over and just turn towards that side. And then coming back and reaching down. And releasing. Come back up. Tap the legs, reach the hands forward, lift the chest. Open the chest. And releasing. So we'll come now, we'll lay our blanket down and get ready for a little meditation and Shavasana. So we'll bring the bolster to sit on. And the general rule is if your legs are up high, you want to support them with blocks. So, like that. And we'll come to a few minutes of meditation. Today, we'll focus on the root chakra, the Muladhara. And that's at the base of the spine. It's around the genital area. And it's the seat of our security and our safety. It's where we have our groundedness and our centeredness. And it's also said to hold ancestral memories, like perhaps famines or things that our ancestors suffered through. Just food for thought. So we bring the hands up on the thighs and we bring our attention now to the root chakra. And there we envision a yellow lotus flower. And the seed sound for this chakra is the lam. So we'll do lam twice and we inhale now to begin. And then we'll bring the finger, the index finger and the thumb together, extending the other fingers in the mudra of wisdom, the Gyan mudra. And we'll do one Om. We inhale to begin. And now we will come to Shavasana, bringing the bolster beneath the thighs and a pillow beneath your head. And once again now we bring our attention to the rise and fall of the breath. As we inhale, we draw in a sense of peacefulness. We invite peace into our hearts. As we exhale, we let go of that which we do not need anymore. We understand that our paths are set before us, that we walk a certain path. And it is our own. Notice the inhalation. And be mindful of the exhalation. This week, as you go about your business, just observe your mind a little more. And while you continue to rest there, I'll just read to you. If my happiness at this moment consists largely in reviewing happy memories and expectations, I am but dimly aware of this present. I shall still be dimly aware of the present when the good things that I have been expecting come to pass. For I shall have formed a habit of looking behind and ahead, making it difficult for me to attend to the here and now. If then my awareness of the past and future makes me less aware of the present, I must begin to wonder whether I am actually living in the real world. Bring your attention now to your heart, the heart chakra. As you inhale, open the chakra. And as you exhale, just allow any bad feelings to go, negative thoughts. As we open the heart chakra, we allow ourselves to be more compassionate and kind and loving. Maybe if everyone, everywhere, especially in view of recent events, practice yoga every single day, there would be peace in this world, guaranteed. Begin now to just gently wiggle the fingers and the toes. And then just roll to your side and just rest there for a moment. As we surrender, and then keeping that sense of tranquility, bring yourself to a simple seated position. And then sit tall, extending the spine, bringing the hands to heart center, lifting the sternum. And then we bow the busy, intelligent, intellectual mind to the more intuitive wisdom of the heart. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way home. Namaste. Thank you.